So a 35-year-old woman with schizophrenia develops galactorrhoea and amenorrhoea 3 weeks after commencing a new antipsychotic. Blockade of dopamine receptors in which pathway is most directly responsible for these effects? So looking at the options, we've got mesocortical pathway, mesolimbic pathway, nigrostriatal pathway, tuberoinfundibular pathway, or retrorubral pathway. Now, of course, we're going to be asked to select one of the pathways. However, the question within the question is, given that this lady's started an antipsychotic and 3 weeks later has developed galactorrhoea and amenorrhoea, do we know what can cause galactorrhoea and amenorrhoea? And thereafter, which pathway is involved or implicated? So galactorrhoea and amenorrhoea are features of hyperprolactinemia, raised prolactin. So it's the tuberoinfundibular pathway. So this can be really relevant clinically as well as just in your exams, folks. Don't forget that. The tuberoinfundibular pathway projects from the arcuate nucleus of the hypothalamus to the median eminence and anterior pituitary. Now, this is the relevant bit. Dopamine tonically inhibits prolactin secretion via D2 receptors in this pathway. Blockade of these receptors disinhibits prolactin release, producing hyperprolactinemia with clinical consequences. I shan't read out the full passage, but effectively what this is saying is, of course, we'll go back to the question. Our antipsychotic is leading to dopamine blockade. All right, so in this pathway, dopamine blockade is disinhibiting prolactin release. So the dopamine blockade is leading to a rise in prolactin. Now, clinical relevance that I mentioned, let's say this lady comes and says, "Doc, doing really well, broadly. My positive symptoms have improved, so my voices have reduced, let's say. However, I've got galactorrhoea and amenorrhoea and I'm finding them distressing. What can we do?" Now, behind the scenes, as clinicians, we might think about the tuberoinfundibular pathway. We might even think back to paper A and the questions that we were asked about it. But effectively, if this person has had optimal treatment response but is developing side effects, we know that the dopamine blockade is likely leading to these. Now, the Maudsley guidance suggests that we can add in a small amount of aripiprazole if they're dead set on staying on, let's say, olanzapine or risperidone, more likely risperidone, to be honest, based on the data. Let's say they want to stay on risperidone because they do like the symptomatic response. We can add in a small amount of aripiprazole. Now, this can help us think about why. Aripiprazole, of course, is a partial agonist. So this action here of dopamine inhibiting prolactin secretion in the tuberoinfundibular pathway is exactly why aripiprazole's partial agonism can help to bring that prolactin level back down. Okay, we can go through these things in more detail on the calls or in the WhatsApp group. But yeah,